the tragic love story of Scar and Zira. Scar and Zira's love story might be the most tragic relationship in Disney history. But what if I told you it wasn't even real? Don't skip ahead, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover the dark truth that changes everything we thought we knew about these two villains. The shocking evidence I found completely transforms how we see The Lion King 2, and trust me, you'll never watch it the same way again. We all know Zira as the fierce leader of the outsiders, completely devoted to Scar's memory and willing to sacrifice everything for his legacy. But what you probably missed in The Lion King 2 were the subtle hints that revealed a much darker truth. Pay close attention, because the next part exposes why Scar's relationship with Zira wasn't what it seemed. Think about it. We never see Zira in the first Lion King, despite her supposedly being so important to Scar. And there's a disturbing reason for that. The evidence I'm about to share reveals why Scar kept her hidden in the Outlands, and it has everything to do with another lioness he couldn't let go of. Let's start with what we know. Zira had 3 cubs, Nuka, Vitaini, and Kovu. She claimed Scar chose Kovu as his heir, which made her feel special, chosen, loved. But here's where things get interesting, and you'll want to stick around for this next part. Because what Scar said when Zira wasn't around tells a completely different story. Recently uncovered deleted scenes and the new Mufasa movie give us crucial pieces of this puzzle. They show that while Zira was raising his heir in the Outlands, Scar was actually pursuing someone else in the Pride Lands. The signs were there all along, but you probably missed them on your first watch. Pay attention to this next part, because it explains everything about why Scar really chose Kovu. Before Simba's return, Scar had a secret obsession that went back years before he even met Zira. This obsession wasn't just about power. It was about someone he believed was his true queen. And once you understand this, every interaction between Scar and Zira takes on a whole new meaning. But here's where the story takes an even darker turn. While Zira was loyally serving Scar in the Outlands, he was repeatedly asking Sarabi to be his queen. That's right, Scar's true obsession was Mufasa's wife. And this wasn't just a power play. According to the Mufasa movie, Scar had been in love with Sarabi since before she chose his brother. Don't click away, because what happens next explains everything about why Zira ended up in the Outlands. Let's go back to when Scar first met Sarabi. Back then, he was still called Taka, and he fell for her immediately. At first, Mufasa even tried to help his brother win her heart. But fate had other plans, and Sarabi fell in love with Mufasa instead. This rejection planted the first seeds of hatred in Scar's heart, a hatred that would eventually lead to Mufasa's death. And you won't believe how this connects to his relationship with Zira. After killing Mufasa and taking the throne, Scar's obsession with Sarabi only grew stronger. The live-action Lion King reveals something crucial. Scar repeatedly asked Sarabi to be his queen, even after taking power, but she refused every time, staying loyal to Mufasa's memory. This rejection led Scar to make an even more desperate move. And if you've seen the deleted scenes, you might know where this is going. What happened next shows just how far Scar would go. When Sarabi kept refusing him, he turned his attention to Nala. Yes, Simba's childhood friend. There's a deleted scene that shows Scar trying to force Nala to be his queen, wanting to create little Scars with her. This scene was removed from the final film, but it reveals something crucial about Scar's character and his later relationship with Zira. Only after being rejected by every lioness in the Pride Lands did Scar turn his attention to the Outlands. This is where Zira enters the picture, and what happens next is heartbreaking. While Zira believed she had found true love, Scar was just following his father's advice. Deceit is a tool of a great king. He needed an heir, and Zira was his last option. The proof of Scar's true feelings becomes clear when we look at how he treated Zira's cubs. When Nuka was born, supposedly Scar's first son, he was immediately rejected for not being strong enough. This rejection affected both Nuka and Zira deeply, explaining why Zira later showed so little affection for her firstborn. Stay with me, because this next part reveals why Scar really chose Kovu as his heir. When Kovu was born, Scar suddenly showed interest in Zira again. But notice something strange. Kovu isn't even Scar's biological son. So why would Scar choose him over Nuka? The answer lies in Kovu's strength and potential. Scar didn't care about bloodlines or love. He only cared about power and creating the strongest possible heir to continue his legacy. All this time, Scar kept Zira in the Outlands, feeding her lies about protecting her from the angry and hungry Prideland lionesses. He claimed he was treating her specially by keeping her separate, but now we know the truth. He kept her away because he was still hoping Sarabai would eventually agree to be his queen. If you look closely at The Lion King 2, you can see how this deception ultimately led to Zira's downfall. The most tragic part, Zira never saw through Scar's manipulation. Even after his death, she remained fanatically loyal, training Kovu to take revenge, losing Nuka in the process, and ultimately choosing to fall to her death rather than accept help from Kiara. Her unwavering devotion to Scar's memory cost her everything: her home, her children, and finally, her life. So was any of it real? Did Scar feel anything for Zira, or was she just a pawn in his game for power? The evidence points to a chilling truth. While Zira's love was genuine, Scar's heart remained frozen in his past, forever obsessed with the lioness who chose his brother. This revelation changes everything we thought we knew about The Lion King 2, showing us that sometimes the most tragic love stories are the ones where love only existed on one side. What do you think? Was Scar capable of loving anyone, or was power his only true desire? And what about Nuka and Vitani? Could they really be Scar's biological cubs, or was everything about his relationship with Zira built on lies? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden stories from the Pridelands. There's always more to these tales than meets the eye.